What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast with your hosts, Marissa and Erica. We are so excited to be here today, celebrating. It's weird that I'm introing myself, but
Your
I guess we're
birthday!
celebrating. This is my 25th birthday episode, and yes, I do feel old. Thank you for asking. So this is so exciting, though, because if you haven't been a long-time listener, you might not know, but on Marissa's birthday, we started a theme, I guess, if you will, where we're saying how many things we learned coming to this age. So, for example, today I'm going to tell you 25 things I learned turning 25.
While being 24.
Well, yes. So I actually did get confused, too, because it would be 24 things I learned while being 24. But then I learned that when you turn 25, you've already lived 25 years. And I was
That's
like,
crazy,
duh.
isn't it?
Yes, that's so weird. Like, that is just weird to think about. So I did bring you guys 25 things today that I learned. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to this week and what we're drinking. And, oh my gosh, I got to get it all out. Some housekeeping. So Let me tell you this housekeeping, just so you all know. First of all, this is the exciting thing. My birthday is next weekend as you're listening. So it's only 10 days away. My birthday is on November 18th. So that's very exciting.
And then I see you the week after that.
And I wrote that. My birthday is only 4 days before I see Marissa. 4 days.
So
That's
excited.
nuts. It's basically like a trip for my birthday. Forget about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, forget about Thanksgiving.
So that's exciting. Just a reminder that there will be no new episode next week. So if you don't see us, don't freak out. We're still here. We'll be back on November 22nd.
We're just celebrating together.
Yes, we're just hanging out. So excuse that, please. And on November 22nd, our episode will be with me and my boyfriend, Angelo. So you guys will get to meet Angelo.
I'm so excited to listen to that one.
Yeah, that's going to be so weird, like being on the other side. You get to be a listener for a day.
I know. It's so
you get to
weird.
cosplay as a listener.
I know. And then you're going to have to leave me for a week so I can do one with Kyle.
True. That would be so fun. I need Kyle on the podcast. We need all four of us on the podcast, too. I see that in the future. Really
yes, for sure.
But all that to say, we're really excited for today's episode. What are you drinking? Let's get into it.
So we're actually recording on a Friday night, so
Which is so wild.
We have a little happy hour happening. So I have one of Erica's favorite drinks. Yes. I got a Bravazzi.
Is that blood orange?
It is a blood orange.
I can tell from looking at it. My favorite flavor.
I know, and I'm actually drinking it out of a cup that she gifted me at the bridal shower.
I'm gonna cry. Today is too good.
I know.
I have going on here a glass of wine. It is Moscato from Sam's Club, and like I mentioned in the last episode, it is my favorite wine at Sam's Club, so I have to shout out Moscato d'Asti. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Are you familiar? Okay, great. Thank you for confirming, because I was like, I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'm just saying it. I've decided that's my favorite wine ever. Moscato d'Asti.
Really?
Like, that is it for me.
You're a really sweet girl.
Yeah, I'm not a wine girly, and I've tried ice wine, which I do not like. Very sweet.
Really?
Too sweet. I did not like it. And this is my perfect balance. This is what I want. That's it.
That's so silly because I said in the last episode that my favorite is Sauv Blanc, which is the driest white wine.
Angelo loves a dry wine. I'm not a true girly. He's a true Italian man who loves a nice dry wine. I'm like, no, give me the sugar.
Yeah.
But it's okay. But anyways, we're going to tell you guys what we're looking forward to in the coming weeks, and then we'll get started. So, would you like to start us off?
Yeah.
You have the most exciting thing that we're looking forward to.
So it's a Friday, but I'm still going to say that I get married next week.
She's going to be Mrs. in 1 week.
Not really, because it takes so long to change your name, but kind of.
You'll be a Mrs. You'll be Mrs. Marissa. Just
I won't be Mrs. until I get my wedding certificate in the mail, I think.
Oh.
I don't know how it works.
Oh, we're going to let you guys know. That's very interesting.
I have no idea.
That's very interesting, actually.
But that's what I'm looking forward to in real time. But when this comes out, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yes, that's so amazing. Well, I will say that my looking forward to is also Marissa's wedding. But I'm very busy girly, so I do have one more thing. And that is that after this episode, I'm leaving to go to my parents for the weekend with Angelo. So when we're done recording tonight, I'm driving 2 hours to hang out with my parents all weekend. It was just my sister's 12th birthday, so that's very cute and exciting. So we're going to celebrate, hang out, and then, I'm traveling 2 weekends in a row because next week I'm actually taking a half day next Thursday from work because I had time, so why the hell not?
Yeah.
I'm getting a facial because I had I
want a facial.
Bro, I should have scheduled it and told you to go to it. Bro, wait.
Well, I won't be there.
We should.
I won't be there Thursday.
I could make it near you. like, okay, so this is what happened. I use my class pass to do it because my work gives me free credits on class pass, and I haven't been using them because I'm really bad and I haven't been working out. So they just have been building up. So I have my max amount, which is 19 points, and there was a facial on there for 19 points. I'm like, seems like a yes. So I took a half day off work. I'm going to get a facial, and then on next Friday we are going to be ziplining for Angela's brother's birthday. It's part of, we're combining it with Marissa's wedding trip. So on Friday we're going to be ziplining in the morning, going to her rehearsal dinner at night, and then the wedding on Saturday, and it's just going to be so fun filled. So that is definitely my biggest looking forward to.
I know you guys gotta be on the lookout for all the photos coming, because by the time this comes out, you've already seen all of the photos, but still hype us up.
Please do hype us up in the comments. Follow us at We Run on Coffee, and follow our personal accounts too, because I know there will be some content there.
You will see the wedding photos. I don't know when I get the sneak peeks or when I'll get them back. Hopefully by the time this comes out, I have all of them back, but we'll see.
Share. Yeah, that's so exciting. Okay, well, do you have anything else that you're looking forward to?
I don't think
feel like
so.
That's the ultimate looking forward to.
I mean, I'm excited to get my love seat tomorrow, but that's like overshadowed in everything that we're talking about already.
All overshadowed by wedding, and then after that, honeymoon. I can't.
I know. I can't wait.
Okay, well, with that, I guess we should just dive right in. I have lots of things to say. I have brought you all 25 things I've learned in my 25 years.
I'm so excited.
It feels so weird to say. 25 is like a big one, I feel like.
Yeah, 23 and 24 mean nothing.
They're literally meaningless. 22 as well. It's like, oh, Taylor Swift year, yay. That's pretty much it. But then you turn 25 and you're like, oh, legit birthday. So
you're like, this is real.
It's weird. It's really weird.
But then nothing matters again until you turn 30, and then you can have another party.
Literally. Yeah, I saw a birthday cake on Pinterest that I thought was so cute. It was for a 29th birthday, and it just said, all the cake said was, not 30 yet. And I was like, that is really funny and really cute.
Yeah. Aw, I can't wait, because I'm so excited that you'll be here right after your birthday.
I can't believe that. I was actually like, wait, that's only 4 days apart. I didn't even think about it, because I'm a little sad because Angela has to work on my birthday, which is unavoidable because he moved it because it was supposed to be on your wedding.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
People were very nice, and they went ahead and moved it. And then we just have like 4 or 3 trips coming up, so like just packed. So sadly, he'll be working on my birthday, but it's okay.
Sad.
So yeah, let's just get started. I have my number one. These are not in order of importance, if you will. They're just things I thought of. So no particular order. My number one thing I've learned in the past year is that you can change your mind. I feel like this is huge. Like, everybody just needs a reminder, I feel like, most of the time, because I think we all know we can change our mind, but we live in a very weird world of like canceling, and if you think one thing, that's who you are. And I don't subscribe to that. And some people do, and they're allowed, by the way. But I do not subscribe to like you make one decision and that's your personality. I think you can change your mind, and like you can have different opinions, and you can grow and change. And one year you can think one thing, and the next year you can think the opposite, and you're allowed. That's okay. So that is definitely
I love that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good one. And then my 2 and 3 kind of go with this and kind of go together. So my number 2 is, all I wrote was go to therapy. So I just wrote that because I've started therapy in the past year. So shout out to my job, which is just amazing, as you guys have heard already. But I get therapy for free through my job on one of the online provider things. So I've been experimenting with that. It's my first time ever doing it. And my number 3 tip that goes with this is I wrote, even when things aren't bad, it's nice to talk to someone who's more of an outsider of your life.
Yeah.
So I found that to be really helpful, just because it's someone that knows nothing about you when you start. And then they learn about you, and they learn who you are and who they think you are based on that. But it's nice to get their opinions on like, oh my God, like my boyfriend did this and it totally pissed me off. And they can either tell you like, oh yeah, that was totally not right of him. Did you talk about it? If you didn't, you should. Or they can say, okay, why did it make you feel like that? Maybe that's something you need to work on. And it's just so helpful to have someone that's not involved and not your bestie being like, yeah, he sucks. Which is sometimes what you need from your bestie. But to have a therapist is really cool. So I would say, if you're thinking about it and you can afford it or whatever, give it a shot.
Yeah, I like that. And it's not like you need to be struggling, like you said. You can just do it whenever it's available to you. And I like that.
It's a big misconception, I feel like. Yeah. And I feel like I had that too. It's hard to get started. It's not like you're going to be like, oh yeah, I should go to therapy because I'm doing really good right now and it sounds fun. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone's out there doing that, and that's fine because I only started it because I got it for free. And I'm like, okay, let's just give it a shot.
I've heard something before, like think of therapy as like preventative medicine. Like you use it so that you don't, like you take vitamins so that you don't get sick later, but use therapy so that you don't have a mental breakdown later, you know?
It's true, and it gives you like, it puts, like they say, it puts all the tools in your toolbox so that when you do face something, you know what tools to get out and use.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's huge.
I love that.
My number 4 is one I've been working on very much recently, but it's so true. And it's something I've adopted from a YouTubers that I watch, the phrase, get your blues and greens. So
I love that. You've been saying it all year.
I know. I have been saying that all year, and I'm not going to stop because it's so good. And last month, I don't think I said on the pod, but last month or 2 months ago, I made a goal, I think it was last month, to go outside every day for at least 5 minutes. This is especially applicable to me because I work at home, and sometimes I literally don't go outside all day, and I won't even notice that I didn't go outside that day. Like, Angela will be like, oh, we should go do this, and I step outside, and I'm like, I haven't been outside
That's what it's
all
like.
day. Yeah, like, oh my God, fresh air. So I made that goal, and I will say, which makes sense, you usually stay out more than 5 minutes once you get there.
Yeah,
it's the getting there that's like the obstacle. So I just wrote get your blues and greens because that can save you from so much. Like, when you're down in the dumps, when you are doom scrolling all day and you feel like shit about yourself, like get your blues and greens and you will start to feel so much better, which I know Marissa believes too because she's a big outdoorsy girl. So
I love it. I haven't been able to be outside like the majority of the summer because I hurt my foot, but
it's so sad.
I'm so excited to hopefully by the time you come for Thanksgiving when we're recording this that I hope that I'm going to be able to walk around outside and we can go on a cute hike or something.
Yes. Oh, I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Okay. So my next one, these ones, this goes back to the first point, but 2 things can be true at once. Also,
I've heard you say that this year.
I say that a lot. Yes, I love that these are like coming back through.
Yeah,
there's things I'm not even realizing that I'm saying, but along with you can change your mind. 2 things can be true at once. Like, I guess it's hard to put into perspective, and like I don't have a good example. But you can believe 2 things to be true. Like, you can believe that somebody hurt your feelings, but you can also believe that they're still a good person and you want to like be friends with them or keep your relationship strong even though they hurt you. Like, just because someone hurt you doesn't mean they're a bad person. So that's the juxtaposition I'm getting out of, like, you can 2 things can be true.
Yeah, and that's really important to remember too, because like I've heard the thing before of like not like a bad decision doesn't make you a bad person, and I think that's really like kind of the point you're getting at with that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 2 things can be true, and in so many scenarios when I remind myself of that, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to be so polarizing or like so black and white, this is right, this is wrong. So there's that.
I think that's really important to remember too, because you have to give yourself grace.
Yes, exactly. And then another thing that I wrote that I think these just all tie in with each other, which has been really interesting, but this one's kind of harsh, but I'm going to say it. Relationships are a 2-way street, period.
Yeah.
I wrote period because that is a hard lesson I've learned this year. It means family relationships. It means friendships. It means relationships. It means anything. Relationships are a 2-way street. I've had to make tough calls this year, I feel like, with friendships, or I've even had some familial relationships that are like, okay, I've put in my effort to this extent, and I'm deciding that if I'm not getting effort back to that extent that I'm happy with, we're done. Like, we're cutting it off. And that is such a hard thing to do, I feel like, especially when people are your family or someone you've known for years. But it's been for the best in my life, so that's why I included it in my 25 things.
Yeah, and I think that kind of draws back to the wedding episode last week of like picking and choosing who like was important. I hate saying that word, but like I guess it's the only one that I can think of. Important enough, and like just they mean a lot to you and you want them at your special day. And like I said, you have to pick and choose those people because at the end of the day, not everybody's going to prioritize you. And that was really apparent when we saw who RSVP'd no.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And it's a 2-way street. Like, you can put in your effort, but you can't overexert yourself so far that you're the one doing all the work.
Absolutely.
Because you will get tired and you will resent the person. And that is something I've learned as well. It's like, oh, now I kind of feel like I hate you. And I should not feel like that because we were supposed to be friends. So
Yeah.
can
And I
definitely
think
lead to resentment.
we definitely talked about that earlier in the year too, because even if it was off the podcast, we talked about how you and I always plan things for other people and we
Yes.
wanted to feel prioritized for certain
Yes.
things. And
Oh,
I think we both went through a struggle with that at least a couple of times this year.
oh, 100%. I didn't even think of that when I wrote this, but that is so true. That is another thing that I've let go of is I've stopped planning everything for
Yeah.
everybody and a lot less stuff happens. And that is
Yeah.
like the cold hard truth of it. Like we do a lot less than we used to because I stopped planning, but I cannot keep giving my whole planning skills or whatever away with nothing in return because then I resent people and I'm like,
I
oh, now I
know.
don't even
And
want to have plans with you because I don't like you because you're bothering me right now.
yeah, and it's so important to prioritize yourself too, because then you'll start resenting yourself later
Oh,
on for not
100%.
prioritizing your own mental health, which goes back
Yep.
to the therapy thing. And I
Literally.
think something similar happened when I did my episode way earlier in
Yes.
this year, is that we just kept connecting everything together. And it just shows that you and I are being really intentional about the growth that we're having this year.
True.
And I like that.
I love the word intentional too. That's so true. And I feel like I've gotten even better at it too, like intentionality and boundaries in the
Hmm.
past couple months. Because I think the first
Yeah.
half of the year was like a struggle.
I know.
A
And we
struggle.
even did that with the podcast. I don't want to go on too
Yeah.
many tangents, but like we realized that things weren't working for us. And I know that some of you might be annoyed that our recording is like so far in advance,
Yeah.
but it works
This
for
is like our
us.
best thing. Yeah.
And we were feeling overwhelmed this summer with all of the plans that we had, and we both threw out this idea and we were like, that works, and we
Love it.
haven't turned back yet.
Literally.
So
And we probably won't because it's literally working so well for us. And guess what? If it doesn't work for us, it's not going to work for you guys. We
exactly.
get
Cuz
into like being burnout, we're not going to want to create more content.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
exactly true. Wow. Okay. Go
Cute.
off. I'm loving it. That is such a good one. I love that.
Yeah.
The next one's kind of fun, and actually, I didn't even obviously I didn't plan this, but like it so relates to the last episode. You'll remember the memories way more than the money. That is
Yes.
the lesson I wrote that I was thinking about applicable to myself for stuff like traveling. For
Mhm.
instance, there was a family trip I went on last year with Angela. We went to the beach with my family, and it was so amazing. And at the time, I remember thinking like, because my mom was like, "Yeah, this is how much the Airbnb is. Like, if you and Angela want to come, we'd like you to pay this much." I'm like, "That makes sense, great." And at the time, I felt like, "Dang, that's a lot." I think it was like $1,000, and we stayed in a luxury condo on the water with a view, like the very top of the building, like super luxury experience. And my mom was like, if we can't do it, we'll find something cheaper for everybody. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. It wasn't that we couldn't
Yeah.
afford it. It was just the fact of like, oh, that seems like a lot of money. Like it kind
That's
of
a
hurts.
thousand
And
dollars.
now I would literally never think about the $1,000. The only reason I think of it is because I think about how much it was irrelevant to the experience that we had to go on a vacation with my family who doesn't vacation regularly. That was like the best thing ever was we got to have memories, we got to go to the beach, we got to have fun, and like we'll never forget it. So that's the way I was thinking about it, but it's so applicable for the wedding too after we just talked about that.
Yeah, I know. And I even said like it was like more of like a budget spending kind of thing. And you have to be intentional again with that word. You have to be
Uh-huh.
intentional with where you put
So
your
true.
money. But I like I said, I didn't have a budget until like at least halfway through because I wanted to make sure I was making genuinely good decisions. And
Yeah.
there was a thing that I didn't talk about in the last episode, and I'll just touch on it really quick. But I
Mm-hmm.
was between two dresses when I went, and one
Oh,
of them was cheaper, but I ended up
yeah.
going with the more expensive one because it meant more to me. And everybody told me they could see the change in my face between the two
Aw.
dresses.
Yeah, that's actually like the perfect representation. And you're never gonna, in 5 years, you're never gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't have spent that extra $1,000 or whatever. Like, you're never,
Yeah.
it's gonna be about how you looked and felt.
Yeah, and I still have the photos of that old one as well as like the one that I have now, and like the way that I looked in both of them, like you can tell which one like I
Aw.
was happy in.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute. I love it. Oh my God. Okay, so next one is a little bit turning the tables, but this one,
Okay.
it still goes along with intentionality and also like intuition. So I wrote, listen to your gut, even if you don't know why it's telling you something. I think that is
Yeah.
really hard for me, probably most people, to just like you have a gut feeling about something and you're like, this feels off or weird and I don't know why. So you ignore it and you're like, I don't know why it feels weird. So I'm just gonna keep going. I feel like I've just learned to like listen to that even when I don't know why and just kind of go with how I'm feeling a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
like
more at
that.
least. Yeah. Which is hard. Very hard for me.
Yes.
I like structure. But another one, same kind of idea. just because you don't always feel beautiful doesn't mean you aren't. And I think that one, I was
Aww.
like, this one is for me, but also something I just want to say out loud to other people, because just because you like sometimes you feel down, or like sometimes you have your period and you're like, I'm an ugly
Yuck.
rat. Like I'm disgusting and I like eat everything in sight and I feel ugly, because that's how I feel sometimes. And I just wanted to tell everyone, just I'm reminding you guys, just because you don't
Aww.
always feel beautiful doesn't mean you aren't. You still are,
Aww.
okay? And it's okay if you don't feel like it. You're allowed. But
Yeah.
you're still there. You're still beautiful and you're still a good person. So
Yeah.
remember that.
And you have to treat your body the way that you would want other people's bodies to be treated,
Yeah,
because
I like
it's the
that.
only body you're going to have. You wouldn't go up to somebody else and say you look ugly and disgusting because you ate everything in sight today. So why
Literally,
would you say that to
to
yourself?
yourself. Oh, so good. I love that. That is a perfect point. The next one's a little silly, but I love it. I wrote, life is too short to finish reading books that you don't like. And this one is funny
Did
because
you finish the wedding book club book?
I, the wedding, oh, not yet. Not yet. I was like, wait, what? For a
Well, you
second, I
said
thought
you
I was
didn't
supposed to do
like
something with
it.
you. I am gonna finish it because I feel like I committed to the book club. So for me, I'm like, okay, I got to do it. But I'm gonna read it. This is how we've been doing it. I'm glad you brought this up. Angela and I were like, okay, we don't have time to finish the book. We've procrastinated too long. Holy shit, what are we gonna do? So we decided that I'm reading the book to Angela, like a live book
Oh.
audiobook. So we started in that. First of all, I paid way more attention when I read it out loud. Second of all, he gets to listen to it like an audiobook, which is he likes reading audiobooks. I don't prefer it, but he does. So that's working well, and I like it so much more now, I will say. So
Aw.
I'm committing. I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
But there were some for like my workbook clubs that I literally, I think I read like 200 pages of this book and I still didn't know the plot. I didn't know what was going on. I
Ugh.
didn't recognize the characters. I was so freaking confused that I was like, you know what? Why am I stressing to finish? Just put the book down. Start a new
Yeah.
book. So
Yeah.
life's too short, you guys. Just if you don't like it, just move on. There's so many books in the world. You'll find one.
Yeah,
It'll be
you'll look
fine.
back and you'll be like, wow, I've really wasted my time.
Literally, it's not worth it. Okay, number 11. It's okay to take breaks. I
Mm-hmm.
had so I wasn't thinking of this when I wrote it, but the other day, Angela's brother Dominic asked me if I take breaks when I work. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, when you're at work. I'm like, yes. I'm pretty sure nobody can work for 8 hours straight, never look up, and not go crazy. Like, of course. I was like, not only do I eat lunch, if I need to take a minute, if I need to take a walk and get the mail and then come back, fine. If I need to go make a coffee and come back, fine. If I need to sit here and play a game on my phone for like 10 minutes because something was so stressful to me, fine. And this is not only a work applicable one, you guys, like in life, like take a break.
Yeah.
If you have too many plans going on and you need to say no to someone, say no to someone. It's not about their feelings, it's about your feelings on the inside. And like Marissa said, you got to look out for yourself, treat yourself how you would want your friends, yeah, whatever you said. Like treat yourself how you would treat your friends, right? Like
Yeah.
if your friend was like, mentally I'm not doing well and I need a break and I have to say no to this plan, you would never be like, you bitch. Like that
Yeah,
wouldn't be your reaction.
exactly.
So treat yourself the same way. So I would say keep in mind it's okay to take breaks.
Yeah. I feel like I really struggle with that one because sometimes, even at work, especially, like, I feel like I just get in a rhythm and I'm like, well, I don't want to take a break because then it's going to take me so
Mm-hmm.
long to get back into the rhythm, like,
Yeah,
especially with
that's a
what
thing.
I do.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not going to be able to do meaningful work if I'm tired.
Yeah, and it gives you it depends because I totally hear that and there's been times where I'm like if I just grind though I can finish it.
Yeah.
But it gives you sometimes that like reset or like a mental clarity when you take a minute or get some fresh air, get your blues and greens, take a break, get your blues and
Yes.
greens. It helps a lot. So,
I
yeah.
agree. I agree.
This is kind of tying in. I should just say that on every one. But number 12 was my quote for September. So every month I choose a quote of the month to live by. I do this every
Aw.
year and I've still continued. And my September quote is one that I thought was really good. Don't take criticism from someone that you wouldn't take advice from. I feel like that's a
Ooh.
good one. If you have someone in your life that's critiquing you or like a hater, if you will, if you wouldn't go to them and ask them for advice, then why the hell would you listen to what they're critiquing about you?
I love it.
I like changed my life. Like remember that everybody, take it home, write it in your planner, write on your mirror because it's so true. Like if you're going to value someone's advice, value their critique. But if you're not going to value someone's advice, why would you listen to what they're hating about you? Like they're not relevant
Yeah.
enough in your life for you to take that kind of criticism or whatever.
Yeah, and based off of your 12 things so far, I would definitely take advice from you. So if you need to
Aw.
criticize me,
Okay.
please.
Okay, I'll hit you up when I have to complain. No, I'm just kidding. Never. No, but yeah, that's the thing. It's just like I don't know. I just don't know why we all allow people to hate us, but then when people compliment us, we don't take it, right? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I love your outfit. You're like, oh, thanks, I got it for $3. I thrifted it at the thrift store and it has pockets. It's like, just say thank you, right? If
Yeah.
someone critiques you, you're gonna be like, okay, great, like thanks for saying that. Like you're gonna be offended and you're just gonna walk away from it. When someone compliments you, you can take it the same way. It's like, thank you. Like not everything has to be justified, and be careful who you're like accepting it from.
Yeah,
Is what I'm
I've
saying.
like me and Kyle have had a conversation about that before because like sometimes like he'll be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." I'm like, "Oh, you're so handsome." But he
Yeah,
was like, "Just say
take
thanks."
it. Yeah,
He was like, "You don't have to like immediately reciprocate like by saying the same thing because sometimes it feels ingenuine." And
yeah.
like we got in a really bad habit of doing that with each other, and I would say it was a bad habit, and that was like what we called it. So now we're just like more intentional about just being like, "Oh,
Yeah,
thanks."
exactly. And yeah, exactly. It's like no comment. I just can't even. I can't even. It's just like why would we take hate from someone we wouldn't take advice from? Keep that, you
Exactly.
guys. Like it just makes sense.
It does.
Okay. Well, moving along. Maybe number 12 is my key to life.
Yeah.
But number 13, moving right along. This one is personal to me, but I think a lot of people, it's again one of those ones that I was like, I have to say it out loud so you guys know. Just
Yeah.
because you have anxiety doesn't mean you're defined by anxiety. You can
Yeah.
challenge to rise above it, and it doesn't have to define you. I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't like go into the store right now because I'm freaking out because I'm anxious. It's like, that's fine. You can feel anxious. You don't have to be anxiety. You don't have to let it define you. And you sure as hell don't have to live within its confinements. Now, I'm saying that as someone who experiences anxiety, not someone who's chronically anxious. Like,
Yeah.
that is not going to be the go to answer for everyone. But you do have the opportunity to like challenge yourself to rise above it. And anyone, you do not have to let that define you. You are like, I am Arika. I am not anxiety. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's so important to keep in mind.
Yeah, and I think that that happens a lot with like neurodivergencies or like mental
Yeah.
illnesses. Like people will choose if they want to do I think it's like there's person first language and then there's like illness first language. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of times with people that have like physical disabilities. Like
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a person in a wheelchair or I like am like disabled." Like or like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a person with a disability or I am disabled. Like those
Yes.
are two completely different things and that's definitely something that goes along with mental health as well. Like
Yeah.
I've heard it a lot with like people in the like that have autism. Like they'll say, "Oh, I'm a person that has autism. I'm not autistic."
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's like just because you experience XYZ doesn't mean that's who you are. It,
Exactly.
some people do believe that that's who they are, and I'm just telling you it doesn't have to. Like
Yeah.
I don't personally subscribe to the idea that you have to be whatever you're facing.
Yeah, and that's a lot of like debate. Like some people do prefer like disability first language, and that's fine because that's how
Yeah,
like you've built your
that's your
characteristics.
choice.
But it doesn't have
Absolutely.
to be. You can be a person first.
Exactly. Yes. Ah, I love this. This is fun.
This
Yeah.
just shows how smart we are. Like these episodes is just like showing we're
Ah.
geniuses.
Oh my god. And everyone's gone. Bye everybody. No, yeah. This next one is applicable to again our last episode because you mentioned it. But I wrote that changing my smile has so changed my confidence, which is crazy that you asked me that and I was trying not to spoil. But
Aww.
I'm not wearing them right now, by the way, so maybe you can tell. It looks a little different.
I don't
It
even
looks,
know because the screen is
yeah,
like so
it's so blurry.
distorting.
I know. But yes, I did write that changing my smile has
Aww.
changed my confidence. And it's really not a dramatic change. And I don't know if there are people in my life who will have not known. Like, if I haven't talked to someone since high school and I ran into them, I'm not sure if they'd be able to tell. People that know me my whole life will notice. But it's enough that I'm like, oh, wow, I've noticed so much more that A, I smile a lot more with my teeth instead of like,
Okay, I was
closed
gonna
mouth
point
smile.
that out because
I
I
do.
feel like a lot of people close mouth smile. I've never done that because
Yeah.
I've never thought about my teeth. But as you were saying, like it changes your confidence. I've seen more images of you
Yes.
smiling with your teeth, and
Whoa,
I was
that's so
gonna point
weird.
that out.
That's probably why. That is so strange. Yes,
Aww.
I used to always be like a closed mouth smile girl, and now I'm smiling with my teeth way more. And also, this one is a little cheesy, but I'll just say it. When I edit my YouTube videos and I try to get a thumbnail, so like I'll go through the video and try to find somewhere where I'm smiling or doing something so I can get a little screenshot to use for my thumbnail, if I'm watching my video back and I'm looking for a thumbnail and I see pictures of me smiling, I realize that I'm smiling watching myself smile. And I've never noticed
Oh,
that
that's
before. And
so
that is so weird.
cute.
It's a weird feeling. It is. It's like a little bit weird, but I'm just like, oh wait, I'm smiling right now watching myself because I'm seeing myself be happy and like not
Yeah.
insecure underneath the happiness or like thinking about like, oh, I'm smiling a certain way, I should change it. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, but that's a
Even
really,
though,
really good
yeah,
reflection point. And I think
it's
that
crazy.
it shows you something else that you said earlier. You're going to remember the memories. You're going to remember this memory of you like falling in love with your smile rather than thinking
Yes.
of the money it
The
costs to get
That's
there.
so true. That's a good point. That's another good one. I didn't even think about that, but that's so true. Like I will
Aw.
never regret the money I spent on it because it'll do way more than monetary value in my life.
Yeah.
So, and I always
Aw.
said when I was in like high school and stuff, I always said I was like, I really just want to get braces someday before my wedding so I can love my wedding pictures someday. Because I know that's like a big memory of people is like, oh, their wedding pictures. So I
Yeah.
always said that. And you know what? Now I did. I just did it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I love
Aw.
it. Yeah. I can't believe we're only on 15, you
I
guys.
know. I'm
Oh,
all in my
God.
feels.
I know. That's how I was feeling earlier, too. Okay, so 15 is harping back on another point, but I wrote, you're allowed to say that you're busy if you have stuff you need to get done at home. I just
Yeah.
didn't think, like, if I had to do some chores at my house or, like, whatever, that doesn't count. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
someone asked me, oh, like, can you hang out this weekend? I'd be like, yeah, I guess I can. Like, I'm not really doing anything. Like, no, if you have shit to do at home and, like, that's a priority is keeping your home, you can say you're busy. Like, that's a good excuse to be busy. And I just wrote that. That's a big one that I wrote for myself because I was like, it's yeah, you can say you're busy if you have shit to do. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be that you have plans out or you're meeting someone or you're spending time with family. Like sometimes doing a chores day and cleaning my whole house, that means I'm busy.
Aw.
So that
Yay.
also goes with this. I don't know if I told you this, but this is pretty crazy. So Angelo and I have so much crap to do. Like we need to clean our house. Every year for Mother's and Father's Day, we give our parents interior car detail that will come and do on their cars as their like Mother or Father's Day gift, and we haven't done any of them from this year, which was in May and June, and just a lot of stuff. Angelo's car is not working right now. He needs to do maintenance on it. Like we just have this big list of to-dos. And
Uh-huh.
so I was like, we need to count the weekends and seriously look at them. And then we need to put in our calendars, this weekend we're working on the car. We cannot make plans with you because we just say yes to too much. So in doing that, we counted how many free weekends we've had from January until now. Do you want to guess how many free weekends we've had this
Like
year?
2.
4.
Yeah.
Literally, what? That's a crazy person. And you want to know how many we have for the rest of the year? Like 3. 3 free weekends that don't like have, travel, traveling slash trips, holidays, all that kind of stuff. Like we're so freaking busy and work. Angela has work on some weekends. Just, it's dumb. Like we're going
Mm-hmm.
to have what, 6 to 10 free weekends of the year? That is
That's
sad.
horrible
That's
because there's
depressing.
52 weekends in a year.
Don't even tell me that. That is so bad. So that's another thing. Another reason I wrote it is like, okay, when we have a chores day, I'm gonna put that on my calendar and I'm gonna say no to things because that is
Yeah.
a ridiculous way to live life. Like, sure, it's fun and we make a lot of memories and we get to do a lot and it's awesome, but
But
it's
imagine like the
exhausting.
life you're building when you're doing those things together at home.
Yes, it's so true. And we just need to. I told Angelo too. Make more plans during the week, have weekends off so that we can spend time together because we don't spend any time together. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
So if you have stuff to do at home, you're allowed to call it busy. You're busy. You can't make
Yes.
plans. You're busy. It's fine. This one's gonna make you emo.
Oh no.
The podcast is one of the greatest creative endeavors that I've taken on, and I absolutely love doing it. That's what I've learned in the past year. You guys don't know, we started our podcast in February. That's when you guys heard the first episode, but we started in January, which is, we're coming up on a year.
Like
How
the
freaking
second
weird.
week of the year,
That's
I
nuts.
think.
Literally a New Year resolution just
I
kicked
know.
in.
We didn't even know it was going to be a resolution, did we?
No, had no idea. So yeah, I just wanted to write that because that's happened in the past year, and literally this is one of my favorite things that I get to do creatively, and I do a lot of stuff like YouTube and all the shit. I can't speak. I guess my wine's
You're
hitting
so
me.
excited.
I didn't even have that much. I'm just rambling. But Instagram, YouTube, like all those things I love doing. I like draw on my iPad and all these creative things, but the podcast is one of the best ones.
Aww.
And I think it is because I get to do it with someone. Like all that other stuff is my stuff. And I like doing it and it's fun, but like just me on my computer, it's like me and my computer alone. We just get it done. So it's cool
Yeah.
to do it together.
Yeah, and I feel like like we have like close family relationships with like other people in the family, but like nobody gets to talk to each
No.
other. I mean, we don't talk every week now, but we
Still,
were.
we do though. We
And
text. Like we
yeah,
almost do talk every week.
we
It's
talk more than me and
crazy.
some of my friends.
Me too.
So,
Oh, me too. Absolutely. We talk more than me and my parents sometimes. So
yeah.
it's really weird to say that, but it's just like my favorite thing. So I love
Yeah.
it.
Aw.
Next one is number 17. We're getting there, people. Most of the time, I am my own worst critic. And that is
Yeah.
another thing that really ties in. I can't even believe how many connections we've made at this point because I didn't even think, I thought of these all as separate things.
Well, like I said, when I did mine, there was no stream of thought,
Yeah,
and
it was
like
just
they
like,
all come together.
yeah, it's so weird because I really just did these like one at a time here and there. I started this a few months ago, actually. I started writing things, but yeah, most of the time I am my own worst critic. I like to like gaslight myself, I think, into thinking that other people like don't think I'm doing a good job or don't know this or don't know that. And I'm like, you know what? That's you. Like that is your fault.
Yeah.
You're doing that to yourself. So it goes back to the inner monologue point that we made earlier.
Yeah, I think that I do that too. And I always grew up being my own worst critic because I did a single person sport. Like it was an individual sport. It
Yeah.
wasn't really a team
Yeah.
sport. So I had to be the toughest on myself because I wasn't hurting anybody else. I was only hurting myself
That's a
if I
good
didn't
point.
do well. And I think that maybe that happened to you because you were an only child for so long that
That's a
maybe
good
that's
point
what
too.
happened.
Absolutely. And when I was younger was such a, I don't want to call it overachieving because I actually don't really even love that term because I feel
Yeah.
like it's not a bad thing to be an overachiever. It's not a bad thing to be under, but that's neither here nor there. But when I was younger, I was like a high achiever, like very driven, independent kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just carried that to my adulthood. And then number 18 goes right with this. I just wrote, I feel like I said the same thing in another way, but I wrote the pressure I consistently feel to do better is also from within. And it's the same
Yeah.
idea. It's like, no one's actually sitting here being like, Erica, you need to do better. Like, you're not doing enough. Like,
Yeah.
who, what? No one's saying that to me.
Yeah, and I tell
So,
this to people all the time. People literally don't care about you. Like, of course, there's
yes.
the people in your life that like love you and stuff, but like society in general, they could not care less about what you do.
It's like we were talking about a couple episodes ago when I said that, like, and I said this, I was like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like, if you think you had an original thought or idea, you didn't. Someone else has
No.
thought it. Like, we're not
Yeah.
special, you know? Like, we are special. We have special lives and we're special to the people in them. But in the grand scheme of it, meaningless. Like,
Yeah.
we
Like
sound
our
so
lives are
pessimistic like that.
like but in such like a good way too because like if you
Yeah,
allow people's thoughts to like dictate your every move, you're going to be so unhappy. So let
literally.
the people that genuinely care about you dictate your emotions, especially yourself,
hmm
and like literally fuck everybody else.
Yeah. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. Keep it
Exactly.
at the forefront, people. Yeah, so number 19 is kind of switching us back. So sometimes choosing positivity is more work, but it is a choice to be made. And this
Aw.
one has been super hard. And I think anyone would agree that it's super hard, but I've been doing this a lot and just choosing to take the positive outlook on something. If someone
Mm-hmm.
cancels a plan on you and you want to be like, what the fuck? Like, this is the worst day. And now I'm going to cry because I wanted to go get burgers out to eat and like drink and have fun and have a margarita, whatever.
You can do
you
it
can
yourself.
you can do
Fuck
it
them.
yourself. You can stay home and have a self-care night. You can hang out with a different friend.
Exactly.
You can you can do whatever. Like, I'm just trying to be better about reframing things that happen, especially when you can't control them. If you can't control them, you can't control them. So
Yeah,
you've
it's
got
not
to
like
choose
an
how you react.
we can always see positive situations go negative, but why can't the opposite be true? A negative
Exactly.
situation can definitely become a positive.
That's like the theme of this whole episode is that we like choose to listen to the negative and then we won't take the positive. We've got
Yeah.
to get over that, people. As a society, we've got to get over it.
Yeah.
Okay, we only have five more.
Yay!
Self-care is key. Getting, quote, pampered, going to therapy, taking time for yourself, getting your blues and greens, etc. is what I wrote. Because I think we all get wrapped up in the self-care as eye patches and taking a bath, which is not, and Marissa hates baths, so now we know it's not for everyone, okay? But it's important, like, therapy, take care of your mind, get your blues and greens, take care of your mind, or exercise, take care of your body. Like, self-care as a whole can be so valuable when you take the time to do it.
Yeah, that's something I definitely want to talk about more as we get to the end of the year. Maybe as we do
Yeah.
like our Q4 wrap up or whatever we're doing at the end of the year, is
Yeah.
definitely talk about that because I want to be so intentional in the next year because I don't do any self-care practices.
Mhm.
Like I don't have the time as
Yep.
of right now, and I need to prioritize that time because it's
Yes.
definitely exhausting.
Yep, and that's exactly like a compromise that I've made recently is like choosing to say no to plans. Like for instance, when Angelo's in class, like sometimes he has a night class, I'm booked. I consider myself booked. I'm booked and busy. I'm staying home. I'm going to do my scrapbook or like
Yeah.
something that I think is fun. And making that choice is like hard, but totally worth it. Also, like we used to do a family dinner every single week. That's exhausting. During the school year, we told his family like every other week is the most we're going to do. And on those off weeks is now when we have our movie nights. So like just
Aw.
giving up things here and there to get in self-care stuff is so huge.
Exactly.
This one is another personal one. Being a planner works for me and allows me to maximize my life, and it's nothing to be embarrassed of. And this might
Mhm.
sound weird, but like I've my whole life gotten hate for being a planner person. For
Hmm.
like I could never do that. Like I can never live by a schedule. It's so regimented and like you probably never have fun and you're not spontaneous and like
Shut
so
up.
much literally so much hate and I'm like I'm not hating on you for not using one, by the way. Like, you don't have to use a calendar, you don't have to use a planner. I don't care what you do, but it works for me. And like I said, I had 4 free weekends this year, which I was complaining about. But also, like, it allows me to live a really awesome life where I do awesome shit all the time because I keep it all organized in a way that works for me. So I just want to I just want to say, if you're a planner out there listening, you're allowed to be a planner and like it. Like, don't let
Yeah.
people shame you for being like the planner or the teacher's pet or the overachiever or any of those words that like make good things bad.
Yeah, and I'm definitely on the same side as you, so I don't care about those other people.
Just chilling. Yeah, I'm like, if you don't have to use a planner, I just want to. Like,
Yeah.
it's not hurting you. It is just all for me, baby.
Yes.
Number 22 is a good one. And I would say this every year. I feel like I relearn this over and over. Traveling is my favorite thing in the whole entire world. I
Aw.
just want to travel all the time and not have a home, as we know. Hence why I
Yes.
want to live in a van, but it's my favorite thing in life.
You're
And I
getting
remember that
there.
every time that we go somewhere, I'm like, yeah, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
this fuels me. Okay, a couple more. Sometimes buying more expensive versions of things that I use frequently is worth it. My mindset has shifted on this since I grew up not having money, like at all, and then getting into like having adult money and not having responsibilities. I say that
Mhm.
loosely. I think what I mean is dependence. Like I don't have kids or pets or anything. So all my money is just sitting in my account. And I'm like, okay. So I have this like aversion to spending it because I'm like, I didn't grow up having spending money. But
Yeah.
also, I'm realizing that sometimes something like a pair of Lululemons for working out or something like a nice hair stuff to keep my hair nice and not frying off and coming off at the ends is worth the money. So I'm just learning like sometimes the more expensive versions are worth it, and sometimes they
Yeah.
aren't. Like
Yeah.
at least for me, I'm not going to Whole Foods like we were just saying before this episode started. I was like, I'm not going to Whole Foods for the more expensive food. I'm good with the stuff at Aldi. But in
Exactly.
some facets of life, I'm feeling like that's worth it to me.
You're investing in yourself at the end of the day.
Yes. Oh my God, that might be the theme. Investing in yourself, intuition, and what was
We
the
need
other I
another
word?
I.
You said investing in yourself, intuition, and the one that you said?
Intentionality.
Yes, intentionality. Because you had the 3 P's. I might have the 3 I's.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Let's see
I
how
love
these
it.
last like 2 or 3 go.
Okay, 2 more. Number 24, I love Moscato d'Asti. I just learned that in the past couple months, so I had to throw it in.
Yeah, of
And now I
course.
have a go-to
I
one, so I'm
think that
happy.
that goes with investing in yourself, right?
Absolutely. And also, guys, the bottle at Sam's Club is $9, so please hit it up.
Yeah.
It's actually fire. Okay, number 25 is a little
Okay.
bit morbid compared to 24. I should have switched them. It's not bad, but I'm not gonna harp on it forever. But some family is forever, and some family isn't, and that is
Yes.
okay. If you have people in your family, it's so hard because you kind of try to tell yourself like that's my blood. Like I can't have this kind of relationship with them, whatever, a strained relationship because they're my family. You can. And if they are literally harming you physically, mentally, if they're making your life harder,
Emotionally.
emotionally, like any of it, like if they're making your life harder, you don't have to associate. And that's not a
Mic
blanket
drop.
mic drop. This whole episode just a mic drop. We literally throw our mics across the room. No, and I'm saying that as also I just want you guys to know that I'm not naive enough to think that that's an option for everybody. I know that it's
Yes.
not. But in my life, I live and financially support myself at this point in my life. So that's something that's been new to me, is like, there
You
are
can
some
pick and
familiar
choose now.
relationships, yeah, that I can navigate differently now that I don't live with my parents or whatever, or like have a court mandate to like see my dad, which by the way, no hate to my dad. I love my dad and I still see him a lot, but like those kind of things that are barriers for some people are not
Mm-hmm.
barriers for me. So keep that in mind. But some family isn't forever, and that's okay too. Like you
Absolutely.
don't have to feel bad if that's your situation.
Yeah. I don't even think we need
Yeah.
an outro on that. That is a mic
Well,
drop.
oh
I
my god.
love that because
And
I
those
completely agree.
Thank you. I'm honored. I know I loved your episode, and I'm so glad that we did this theme this year. I told Marissa, you guys, that we cannot do 26 things next year and what, 24 things. That's too
Yeah.
much. It's too many things. But I love that we did this because I think it was a really awesome way to just give people
Recap.
what we've learned and talk about it with ourselves, because half of those were for me to say to myself again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so good. So those were 25 things I've learned in 25 years.
I'm so proud of
Oh,
you.
thanks. It's just so crazy. And I'm at a point where I'm so happy with the relationships, friendships, family ships, whatever that I do have in my life, that I'm just like, I'm big chilling. I am
Yeah.
cool. Like, I'm doing well, and that feels good. So if you're out there and you're not doing well, we're here for you.
Yes.
Reach out.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to you. We'll hang out.
Yeah.
We'll be
Reach out
besties.
to us
DM
on
us.
Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram at We Run on Coffee. DM us anything you want. Send us pictures. Just hang out with us. It's just
Yeah.
fun. We would
We
love
love
to make some new friends.
interacting.
Yeah, I guess that's it. We can freaking end it here because Marissa has to go get a COVID vaccine.
I do.
I have to go read a book to Angela for 2 hours while he drives me to my parents' house.
Aw,
We have things to do.
we
Thank you
do.
guys for listening and celebrating my birthday with me. I wouldn't have wanted to
Yay.
celebrate it with anyone else. I love the podcast fam. Like, this is my favorite thing. So I
Aw,
absolutely love it. And I guess that's it.
that's it.
All right, guys. By the time you hear this, I'll soon be 25. And with that, I'm Erica.
And I'm Marissa.
And
And
we
we
run
run
on
on
coffee.
coffee.
Bye.
Bye.